Hey guys, Ryan Melrose, currently inactive Australian pro wrestler, and well, today I thought I'd just jump online, jump on this video here, and have a bit of a chat. And basically, this is my sort of way of giving back to the wrestling community. At least it's something, giving back to a sport that has given me a lot, including self confidence and self respect. Now, one of the main things I want to discuss today is the international spot, which is pretty much the first spot you learn in pro wrestling. So, so whether you've just started your pro wrestling journey, or you're a veteran, or someone who's been doing it for quite a while, doesn't matter. This video is for you either way. So, feel free to listen. Now, like I just mentioned, the international spot is pretty much the first spot you learn. Like every spot, should be trained under close supervision, and yes, should be because you're drilling a certain match situation. I don't recommend trying to use spots as a way to warm up your trainees. Can be very dangerous. So I guess that's my first issue with the spot is right there, how people use it as a warm up exercise. Because, well, in all honesty, the international spot is something that you'll probably only use once in a match. Maybe twice. And even then, which actually brings me to my second issue, overusing this spot. Because a lot of shows overuse this spot when there's so much more they can actually do with the international to make it different. Now, I'm not saying they're using it 10, 20 times per match, but I'm saying that it gets used in every match. That's the next issue I have with the spot, because to me, there's nothing more that screams pro wrestling is predetermined or scripted or choreographed, whatever you want to call it. I will not use the four-letter F word. I hate that word. Yeah, nothing screams choreographed than seeing the same spot in every match. And the international and even universal spot are both culprits of that. You see that in every match, and it's like, why don't you mix it up, make it a bit different, make the spot uniquely your own? Because there's so much more you can do with both those spots. I'll give you a few examples later on, but first, let's get into how the spot is actually done. Well, obviously, I can't get into a ring right now and show you, but these clips will definitely make my point. Okay, see here how he puts on the side headlock and they go immediately to the ropes? That's exactly what you want to do if you're going to use this spot. Why is that? Well, because if you decide to work the headlock, there's no momentum. There's no momentum for your opponent to use to get you into the ropes. But when you first put the headlock on your opponent and you pull him in towards you, he has that momentum to get you into the ropes, and it looks more realistic, looks more real. Now, the other thing I want to point out here is, notice when he comes back for the shoulder tackle, he's looking down on his opponent's looking back at him. There is actually a reason to do this, and I notice a lot of pro wrestling organizations do not teach this. They do that. It is how we make sure we haven't knocked out our opponent during the shoulder tackle. And believe it or not, yes, that can happen. This is professional wrestling. All it takes is for you to do the bumping correctly, hit your head on the canvas, and you're knocked out and dazed, in which case you'd be covered and the match would be over like that. And that's why they do it. He looks down to make sure it's safe to continue the spot and overall continue the match. No point in injuring your opponent further if you've accidentally knocked him out with the shoulder tackle. Now notice him turning on his stomach there. Now that's called a drop down, and it's actually a move. He's not just turning on his stomach for the sake of turning on his stomach or trying to avoid something, which a lot of people seem to think that's the idea of turning on his stomach. He's trying to avoid something. No, he's turning on his stomach like that because he's trying to trip his opponent who's run off into the ropes. That's actually the original purpose for that move. So if he wanted to, if the person going to the ropes wanted to, if he wanted to be a bit more creative with this spot, he could actually trip himself and sell his leg. Trip himself, sell his leg, and give the guy a near fall, build up drama that way. Which, to be honest, would actually be kind of cool because not many pros do that. Now we know how the spot is done and how it is supposed to be done and safely done. What else can you do with that spot? I mean, it's a certain sequence, isn't it? Isn't it supposed to be the same and done exactly the same, 100% the same, and done in every match so people can eventually get bored of the wrestling and go home? Well, if that's your attitude, you shouldn't be in the wrestling business. You shouldn't be in the ring. And actually, no, there are many different ways to do certain things. That includes the international and universal spot. You don't have to run that spot that way. You can make little changes to make it more unique, more realistic for one, and really build a match that's uniquely yours. Yours and the opponent you have in there with you. Discuss it with it. Talk to him. He goes, okay, we'll do an international spot here. Okay, so here's an example. How about instead of when he does the drop down part of the move, how about instead of stepping over him, you actually take the trip, sell the leg, he gets up, hooks the injured leg, 1, 2, near fall. You just build up some drama and it's unexpected. One example. Another example. Alright, you've put the headlock on, you're into the ropes, he's thrown you into the other ropes, you've come back with the shoulder knockdown. Now, there's no reason that after he does the look down and check and goes back into the ropes again, rather than getting up with the hip toss, nail him with a clothesline. Do something different. Or literally anything else. Or when you get up, maneuver your way behind him, get him in a sleeper. There are literally so many possibilities, just the international alone, that you can do to tweak it a little bit, make it different each time, and use it differently in your match. That way, the fans watching the show don't feel like they're watching the same match over and over again. You get what I mean? Like, it may... Sorry. Okay, you got John versus Matt for the whatever championship. Okay, and then you got Mr. Bill versus Tim. When it may as well just be John versus Matt again, because you've used the same spot the exact same way, and your fans are feeling like they're just watching the same match. And it just gets boring. It gets boring. But my mentor once told me you should never do the same thing more than 3 times in a match. Now, that is true even for the international. But in this case, you shouldn't do it the exact same way more than once a show. If you can. If you can. It just, I would say, try to come up with different ways you can use that spot. Do something different, like I said, with the drop down part. You can simply take the trip, because that's the idea of the drop down move. When you're going into your ropes and your opponent does a drop down, the idea is he's trying to trip you. But usually, people just step over him. You never see that work anymore. You never see it actually trip someone up anymore. So I'm saying, take the trip. Roll your way through, sell the leg. Comes to the pin. 1, 2. Give the crowd a near fall right there and start putting up. Sell your leg. Now you've given your opponent a body part to target, and you can work your leg if he chooses. So yeah, so that's basically everything I want to say about the spot, and keep training hard, get yourself out there, and stay safe out there.